All right, so I don't really have many videos on my channel specifically curled towards or aimed towards one thing, but as some of you may know, I'm working on a 97 swap Jeep Comanche. So right now we are adding sound deadening, re-welding, welding some stuff up, patching some holes just to make it a little bit more airtight. And on that, those of you that know or have these older 97 Jeeps, you know that the foam on these HVAC boxes, you can't really find them, right? It's a very thick, very specific size. So I measured with a micrometer, saw what the total depth was, and then I ended up finding this on Amazon. So it is extremely sticky. This is just because I don't know, it was rolled up, but you tear off this paper and it has a mesh, super sticky, like very sticky. Like it's stuck to my floor over there, which is fine. I can just scrape it up. But what I ended up doing was doing a normal starter strip, right? That didn't require any cutting, just from one side to the other. And then the second one, I placed it exactly how I wanted. Let these make the indents. And then I didn't realize this towards the end when I was cutting this one, this last row over here. But when you see the color, what is it called? The outline, there we go. When you see the outline, cut like maybe 1/4 of an inch beyond it and then tear that out. And then you'll just be left with this foam. And then you can take let's see if I can zoom in, super thin razor blade, like a little tiny, so like a 1/2 inch one. And then be able to cut through it and cut around it. What I also did too, yeah, you can see how sticky this stuff is. It's stuck too. It works really well though. And granted, I did kind of prepare the system or the base for this. Yeah, look at this stuff. It's super sticky. I just cut a little slit for this so it could slide over that. And of course, like a little half moon. And then same thing for this last one, just doing a half moon, little cutout, and then just pressed it down. Really nice. Took that same little razor blade and just traced out and cut this way to get a decent design. I'm debating on doing the same thing for this one. I did replace this foam, which is, again, this goes up into the bottom of the cowl. But I was really worried about this one because it was a very dense, whereas this is more malleable. This is a pretty, like I'm pressing pretty hard. But granted, it's not like this stuff, the factory foam, but that's kind of a good thing because this stuff is just, it gets crumbly. So I'm debating on doing this one. I'm probably for sure gonna do the defrost, because I did do the bottom too for the legs. I redid that seal. Thinking about using this stuff for this, but again, this is kind of a more softer like this one, but I need that thickness because right here at its thickest point, you know, it's about that thick. So debating on if I want to just do multiple thin strips like this. That way I don't have to cut out a lot of these reliefs from the big stuff. But something like this down here, you know, I'm debating on doing that. So again, just revamping it, refurbing it, changed out the heater core and the condenser and all that stuff inside, all the internals, new blower motor, like I said, new condenser and all that stuff. Checked all of the vacuum lines and relay and everything like that. So she's about ready to go back in. So it'll be really interesting to see it. But yep, sound deadening, nice and solid. Hopefully no leaks. So yeah, I thought I would just share this with y'all. Anybody that's doing this, I didn't really find a whole lot. So I'll leave a link to this, which goes to the big back, the big back portion. Now this stuff, I just found this at Home Depot. When I took it out, I think this is like 1/2 inch or 3/8 by a half, or no, it's 3/8 tall by 1/2 inch wide foam. So a lot of people use them for their motorhomes. We used to use them for our motorhomes, our trailer in the wintertime, and it works really well. It holds up pretty well. This isn't going to be exposed to UV, so I'm not super worried about it. I'm also not worried about a, watertight seal, because I'm actually working on the cowl anyway. That's another common problem, is where it'll usually leak up there, down into this, and into the bottom. And I am currently working on that. Making a plate. Don't want to do it too well, but I want to do it well, but I don't want to let go of it right now because it's cut out too well. But yeah, I'll be down there doing some seam sealer. The seam sealer is literally just liquid nail, but yep, I'll leave a link to that big boy, and then some of the other stuff too. Like I said, got it from Home Depot, pretty inexpensive. I had the open cell stuff, and then this stuff as well. This is more of a more spongy, if you will, and it bounces back a little bit more. So depending on what you want, if you want something with a little bit of resistance, I would go with this, again, from Home Depot. If you want something more, well, like foam, this stuff isn't too bad, and it's very easy to work with. But yep, thought I'd share that. Thanks, y'all.